Yeah, I was going to actually put out a different type of video format than actually just talking in front of this, but, I saw another news story about the Navy has to take off the patches that say, "Don't tread on me," with the snake. Now, I guess if you're stuck in the military, they got you because either you do what they say or you're out. But obviously, I know there's going to be other ways around things and protest or whatever the hell it is. But yeah, that's what happened. Actually, it's probably coming from the Obama administration. There's no doubt about it. They're changing all kinds of crap, trying to wreck the military one way or the other. But let me just put some lesson back to Rome. Rome, ancient Rome. They had the emperors. After they used to have like a type of shared proconsul, right? Where it wasn't really the Senate had the power, the elected representatives of the people. And after Julius Caesar died, he crossed the Rubicon, he was murdered and everything. It was Caius Octavius Augustus actually ruled as emperor. But it was actually even many years after that, even in 65 AD, that they tried to restore the Republic, even years after Augustus died, and Nero was in power and all this type of stuff. But it really comes down to it. The military controls, baby, and you know what? The military's probably got less respect for Obama than they even had when President Clinton was in power. I'm going to say this. I remember when I was in the military, I ain't going to say too much about this or anything, but, just as my little political dissent, because I couldn't put something on my uniform or anything, but I used to put down on the back on a oil tank on a Harley, Clinton for change, and they had the hammer and sickle, but I made sure the hammer and sickle, looked like the Soviet style for the C. It was outstanding that you understood what it meant, communist type of change. And, some people used to remark to me about, hey, you can't have that on Earth. Hey, it's his campaign slogan, and that's the guy that actually allowed missile technology to go to China for campaign contributions and gets away with it scot-free, right? Oh, we got a guy in the White House now that's even worse than that. But you know what's going to happen? Same game as Rome. Praetorian Guard, right? What happened? What happened? Who the hell's got to listen to that schmuck? Who's got to listen to him? Nobody. But I'm thinking about getting another Clinton for change because I know what the next Clinton's going to be in there who's going to try to get in office. It's going to be Hillary Clinton, who's probably going to be like 100 times worse than Bill. Actually, Bill, if it wasn't for the elite and all the other crap going around him, Bill could be a guy that you can get along with really good on a personal level. He's not a bad guy on a personal level. If you can actually allow him to be president how as he is in his heart, he wouldn't have been a bad president at all. But Hillary, she's cold as all hell. But I got word for the military, man. If you're going to allow this kind of shit, you should be thinking about getting rid of the usurpers. Period. Just get them out of there, man. Get them out of there. Period. Get them out of there. I know they're thinking about it, but I've noticed from being in the military, it's always the people on the top. Oh, they're the worst scum on the earth, man. They're the worst. The higher up they go, they're all politicians in green uniforms. That's all they are. Period. Or whatever kind of color uniforms they have, That's all they are. And it don't matter what branch it is. That's exactly the way it is. They know how to freaking obey orders, but that's about all they're good for. And, you got to remember that line by Henry Kissinger. That's what they think of you, man. Dumb animals. So, I have to even say a couple of things because I get annoyed at some of this crap about the insider elite, and I got the information on the insider elite. The insider elite ain't nothing, really. They really ain't nothing. It's just that people don't have the balls to stand up to them. That's the problem. And when you stand up to them, you better be shrewd. That's the number two problem. You don't go out there like full frontal assault. You know, hey, it's bullshit. Maybe you do have to kiss their ass a little bit. You know what I mean? But that's usually what works. But when they're telling you to take this thing off the uniform like that, you know, I wouldn't put up with that shit. There's got to be something you can do, and I'm not going to recommend what you could do that can be done. There's other things you can do. There's other things you can do. Just be creative. You know, when you're dealing with the enemy, there are no rules. There are no rules. There's no rules at all. And it doesn't mean you have to be criminal. You can be 100% law-abiding all the way. But, you know, there's no rules, man. So, I mean, if the usurper-in-chief is telling you to take this off the uniform, there's other ways around it, you know. I can tell you, a little bit about a little insider crap. You know, it's supposed to be true because I heard this for decades. I assume it's true. I'm related to Robert Vesco, supposedly. It was a big famous guy in the 70s, a big wanted fugitive from, you know, on the FBI list. And I never believed the crap, but I guess it's true because I heard this crap for so long from so many people. I guess it is true. And looking at some type of family history, I guess it is true. But, you know, you talk about creative ways to get by on the system. You can. There's other ways around it. There's always ways around it. The biggest problem is, in the military, is the chain of kiss asses. That's the problem. That's 100% the problem. You know, it's like you got to keep the faith inside all the time. And you know I was a little outspoken, and it didn't help me out. It didn't get me in major trouble, but it didn't help me out at all, that's for sure. But I had to be very tactful the way I said things. But man, I definitely, and I brought out shit a lot of people just didn't want to hear, because even if I brought out 100% facts in tactful ways, you got to remember, people on the top, they're just out there for direct deposit. That's what they're about. Retirement and direct deposit. That's all they're about. Period. So there's other ways around things. You know, and you know, I was looking at something, and I know a lot of people mention this crap, and I'm getting kind of annoyed at some of this shit, because I'm no insider. But you know, if I wanted to play like I was an insider on some of this crap, you know, I'll leave that for some other video on something else. But, you know, I just have to say this. With the military, you know, it's probably going to play out exactly the same way it happened in Rome. There's going to be the elite think they got control of the military, and guess what? They don't. They don't. Not at all. Not even in the slightest. They think they got control. They probably don't. Not at all. And you know, this is one example, because maybe where I read Vladimir Putin too, because that guy was like, well, he was KGB military, but you know, he's gotten more, like, I know what the guy's about. I mean, I know the Westerners are so stupid to think he's against the New World Order. He's for getting justice in Russia. Man, that's so stupid, it's beyond belief. But I do understand that that guy's a hardcore, very disciplined person. I understand that all the way. Putin, Vladimir Putin. You see, that's a type of person that comes from a background that it's a lot different from, you know, the educated Ivy League set. He's 100 times more cunning, you know? And basically, we got our types over here in the United States just like that. Just like that in the military. And they talk smooth on the outside. So, you know, insects like stupid-ass Obama and the people that control them or think they control them or think they got it over on something and they're playing some kind of game, it just may backfire in their face, man. That's what just may happen. And I hope it does, man, to tell you the truth, because I really don't give a shit about this. You know, actually, I see the problem, but like I always said, the elite aren't really the major problem. It's actually the American people in general, because it's almost like that with anything, you know, whether it's technology or healthcare or, you know, voting in a politician. It's really the will of the people that bring it upon themselves, and that's why we got this crap over us. That's really what it comes down to, man. So, that's part of the problem. And actually, it's always the minority, the righteous minority, that sets it right. The righteous minority. Only the righteous minority. And right now, it looks like a lot of that is mainly in the military. Now, I don't play G.I. Joe or nothing like that on the weekend and running around in the woods and shit like that. I was down, on a CPA farm over the weekend, yesterday as a matter of fact. But, I still got military thinking in my head all the way. All the way. As far as I'm concerned, I never left the military. And I'm 100% on the side of the USA and the American people. Even if the American people are getting kind of stupid sometimes, I'm still 100% on their side. That's a fact. That's a fact. But when this clown, Obama, tells him to take this patch off, don't tread on me, that's open warfare, man. That's open warfare. And, the next one that comes in just might be Hillary Clinton. She's going to be 10 times worse. So if the little pussy boys in the American military want to, sit back and take it, you ought to be freaking thinking like a freaking devil. And be like that snake in the grass. Don't tread on me. And that means you could bite that bastard back one way or the other, man. You can. It's got to be stealth all the way. That's the game. That's the game. Just remember that. I know there's some people that think like that, but the problem is a lot of times in the military, the higher up they go, the more dedicated they are to retirement and direct deposit. That's a fact. That's a fact all the way. That's the problem. I've always seen that as the problem. And actually, most of the people know that's the problem. But you know what? Keep the faith. Keep the faith. If they're going to probably force you to take that patch off, but that patch can be showing up all over the place. All over the place. First off, you can wear it as a civilian. You could stick it all over your freaking car. You could stick it all over every damn thing there is. Just to freaking say to that, in the meantime, till it comes back. Till it comes back. Because, but that should give you fuel for thought about this guy is not the legitimate president of the United States. Maybe he's not. Because you know what? Maybe you ought to be bringing up that question as to where was this guy born, by the way? Was he born in the United States? Is he in America? Is he actually authorized to be the commander-in-chief? Maybe a lot of people in the military ought to be bringing up that question now that he's throwing his patch out the door. You see, that's how I think. That's how I think. The problem is, most of the people in the military, hey, we get paid, we got some beer and cigarettes. Well, fuck you.